Hello and welcome to the Power of Positive Thinking. My name is Emily Whelan and I have created a series of free video training to help you grow and develop a more positive mindset. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Last week we took part one of our training in relation to identifying your personal values, and today we're going to look at part two of that training. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper so to help you understand why those values are so important. And I had a really interesting conversation with a good friend of mine today, and he's a chef and he's feeling really stuck in his life right now, and I thought it would be great to include his story in the video training today because I was really able to resonate with this. It's quite in line with what we're talking about, and I feel that it might inspire you and resonate with you as well. So this person is a very talented chef, and he was feeling very stuck in his career, and he was feeling unfulfilled in his job. His talents weren't being recognised. He felt that there was no room for him to grow and develop his skills. He was working a lot of long hours, and it was really starting to have a negative impact in other areas of his life. So I asked him, what is really important to you? The first question, when you're learning to identify your values, what's really important to you? So he began to explain that, being able to express his creative talents, being able to challenge himself, to be able to kind of step outside his comfort zone and really push the boundaries and just have fun with working with food so that he can inspire others and that he can develop and further his own skills as a chef. So we were able to identify that being career focused was one of his personal values, and this was a huge turning point for him. And not only did we understand that, but there was no reason why he couldn't start making some positive changes now. Rather than focusing on all the negative aspects, one of the things that he needed to start doing was he needed to start looking for other job opportunities that were out there that were going to recognise his talents, where he would be happier and more fulfilled. But not only that, I suggested, there's no reason why you couldn't start a YouTube channel or a blog so that you can start experimenting now and getting your name out there and start getting your creative juices flowing and get back into what you do best, and that's being a creative chef. So he was really pleased with some of these ideas that hadn't even entered his mind, and that was simply because he was so focused on all the negative aspects, feeling unfulfilled, feeling stuck and things like that there. But when we shift our mind to how we can create solutions, that's when the magic happens, and that's when we start to move forward in our life. So those were a few goals that I left him with. And before we ended the conversation, I asked him, well, now that you've identified one personal value, what else, is really important to you? And he said, well, my family is really important to me. I'm working long hours at the moment, and I really don't get to spend that much time with my family. So I said, well, can we put family up there as well as maybe your second personal value, and we can work towards making that a little bit better for you as well. And obviously his reasons why that was so important was because he loves his family. He doesn't want to miss out on spending time with his children and his loved ones. They bring him joy, they bring him happiness. So maybe when he's looking for this next position or this next job, that maybe he doesn't have to work the 60-70 hour week that he's working now, and maybe he can cut that back to maybe 40 or a 50-hour week so that he can get to spend more time with his family. So here are a few more of those questions that we talked about in last week's video training. What are the things that contribute to your life and why? Okay, so being maybe more organised, that might contribute to your life. For example, maybe getting up a half an hour earlier in the morning so that you can, have a little bit of time out to yourself, that maybe you can plan your day and feel more organised. Maybe going to bed a half an hour earlier in the evening so that you can read a book, that maybe listen to a podcast or something like that there, maybe do some meditation. Those are things that are going to contribute to your life. Small, simple little things that are going to make you feel good, rather than getting up feeling disorganised, having no plan for the day, maybe giving out to the kids that are running around, you know. So small things that get there can have a huge impact on your stress levels as well. Another question, what are the things that bring you joy? There are so many things that can bring us joy. Just even simple things like having gratitude for the things that you already have in your life, practicing gratitude on a daily basis, that brings me so much joy. You know, pastimes and hobbies, whether it be taking up a painting class in the winter time, or doing a dance class, or going to yoga, or you know, something that makes you feel good about yourself, that brings you joy. Tapping into your creative side. There's so many things that we can do to help us tap into that joy within ourselves. What are the things that make you grow and expand? You know, tapping into your strengths, maybe learning a new skill, maybe taking up a course or taking up a new hobby. You know, and if you feel stuck, ask a friend to sit down with you with your list, and go through your list and say, these are the things that, you know, bring me joy, these are the things that contribute to my life. Is there anything else that, you know, that I could write down here that I'm missing out on? And, you know, then asking yourself, once you've written all of these things down, am I living a life that is in line with my values? You know, so that's where you can start to identify maybe some of those habits that you might need to let go of. And you know, you're not going to all of a sudden start living a life that's in line with your values in the space of 2 or 3 days. It does take time. It's taken me a really long time to identify and understand what some of these values are, why they're so important to me. But believe you me, you know, understanding why they're important that's what's going to help you stay on track. That's what's going to keep you motivated to stay on track as well. And you know, once you have that list, stick it on your fridge. Write it down so where you can see it every single day. You know, maybe put it in beside your bedside locker. You know, read it every evening, and start living a life that is more in line with your values, and start creating those new habits for yourself. So I hope that this video training has helped you. Again, if you've any questions, please just comment in the comment section below, or contact me on my website. If you haven't signed up to my newsletter, visit www.emilywhelancoaching.com and put your name and your email in there, and that way you won't miss out on any of the free video training. I'm going to be doing some more video training next week. I'm going to talk a little bit about building confidence, so I'm really looking forward to sharing that video with you. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this video if you like it, tag your friends in case you know other people might benefit from this free video training, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.